You're walking around an amusement park on a hot summer day in the blistering sun. You go to the kiosk and buy yourself a water bottle. You drink the water over the course of the day, and you throw it away. For you, the water bottle is no longer in existence, out of sight, out of mind. However, the truth of the situation is that water bottle is going to exist for another 450 years in a landfill, or even worse, in the ocean. While it may not seem like a big deal, I want you to think back on every water bottle you've ever purchased over the course of a summer, a year, your life, and think how quickly that all adds up. When you multiply that by the population of America, it very quickly becomes a very large problem. And it is time that we as a nation address this problem together. Our use of and disposal of plastics and other materials is immense. From cutlery to storage, plastic is a part of everyday life for many Americans. According to EarthDay.org, Americans bought 50 million disposable water bottles this year. Of those, only 23% are going to be recycled. Worldwide, each year, over 4 trillion plastic bags are used, and only 1% of them are returned to recycling, according, again, to EarthDay.org. And as a result, the collection of plastic continues to grow each day, becoming an ever-growing threat to our planet. For most of my life, I have loved the ocean. From swimming, to snorkeling, to scuba diving, to boogie boarding, and all other sorts of water activities, the ocean has been a huge part of my life. And in the recent years, as I've been participating in these activities, I've noticed more and more litter floating along the ocean and in the waves. And to me, it's a very important deal that we take care of our Earth. And as I said before, our use, and sometimes misuse, of plastic is becoming a global problem. The amount of plastic we're using is increasing, and while it is a global problem, many other countries have found solutions to said problem, which I will make a case for using in our own country. The impacts of reducing trash in our ocean and other natural areas will be felt worldwide as environments become cleaner and healthier for all. So the statistics about our plastic consumption outlines a growing problem and concerns all of us. According to plasticpollution.org, an estimated 299 million tons of plastic were produced in 2013, which is a 4% increase over 2012 and confirming an upward trend over the past few years. While 4% might not seem like a lot, when we talk about quantities at the scale of 299 million tons, it becomes a very bigger deal, a very large deal. It takes many years for plastic to fully decompose. Small pieces can be broken off and form what is called a microplastic. According to NOAA, the National Oceanic and Air Administration, microplastics are plastics that are less than 5 millimeters in length, about the size of a sesame seed. These microplastics are eaten by small fish and can clog up their digestive systems and end up killing them. This plastic then works its way up the food chain, and as larger fish eat the smaller fish, and so on and so forth. Even normal-sized pieces of plastic are eaten by larger animals, such as whales and turtles. In fact, I have a picture here that I would like to pass around of a whale that washed up dead on the shore and the contents of its stomach. So you might be asking yourself, why is this a problem? And as I stated before, the smaller organisms eat the microplastic, which then makes its way up the food chain. In an article written by Ian Johnston, they found that scientists tested the bodies of 120 mackerel, anchovies, mullets, and croakers. And they found 36 pieces of plastic in total among the bodies. If we follow the 4% increase that was stated earlier, we would come out to about 39 pieces of plastic found in 2019. That article was written in 2013, by the way. The scientists then warned that the plastics attract toxins in the environment, and these poisons could be released into people's bodies after they eat the fish, and the plastics included nylon, polyester, and polyethylene. As this number continues to grow, the danger it presents to us as well as our planet also grows. The ocean is a large food source for us, feeding millions of people worldwide. As we contaminate the ocean, we contaminate our food supply and in turn contaminate ourselves. As this continues to happen, we will no longer be able to eat some of the food provided by the ocean. Therefore, the prices will go up and people will go hungry and even starve. On top of this, it reduces the amount of wildlife in the ocean, killing marine life such as turtles, whales, fish, etc. And a huge part of an ecosystem is its biodiversity, otherwise known as the balance between one species and another. It is a very delicate and careful balance. Having different types of fish and other organisms can help keep that ecosystem in balance. And having too many or too few of one organism can be detrimental and end up crashing an ecosystem, which means it basically fails and it can no longer support life the way that it needs to. So with all these problems, you might be wondering, are there any solutions or small things that we can do as a society to help clean our oceans? There are two great ways that we can help clean our oceans, or rather, use in our daily lives. The first is to properly recycle things. As stated earlier, only 23% of plastic bottles are properly recycled in America. The reason that this number is so low is that it can be fairly hard to recycle things. If not properly cleaned or treated, one bad contaminated water bottle or piece of plastic can contaminate the whole batch, making it unrecyclable and useless. Another issue is that recycling bins tend to be harder to find than trash bins, and a lot of people don't want to go out of their way to find it, which leads me... I personally believe that the largest reason we don't recycle is we don't see the benefits of it in our day-to-day lives. Out of sight, out of mind, as I said earlier. There's no reward for recycling because there just isn't. You can feel good on the inside, but outside of that, it goes away, it goes to a landfill, that's it. It's harder to find recycling bins. Why would I want to walk another 200 feet if there's a trash can right next to me? And with both of those things against us, how have other countries, combated that? In countries such as Germany, they have a program that in essence charges you for the bottle. It usually comes to around 25 cents per bottle, and they charge it when you purchase your drink or beverage or whatever it is. At certain collection centers, usually located in grocery stores or other common places that people visit a lot, they have these receptacles that you insert the can, it counts it, and then it gives you that money back. In essence, you rent the bottle, you don't buy it. And then the companies are then in charge of properly recycling it. The second huge solution is to switch from single-use plastics to reusable items, such as straws, forks and knives, and shopping bags. Plastic has a great lifespan, as I stated earlier, of almost 450 years, and the reusability of it is also immense. Common single-use plastic items that can be replaced with reusable items include shopping bags, straws, and water bottles. We use over 4 trillion bags yearly, as I stated earlier. Reusable bags can greatly reduce this number. All you have to do is bring the bags with you to the store, bring them back to the house, unload your groceries, bring them back in the car, and then they're ready to go for the next grocery check. Rinse and repeat this process for all of your shopping needs. Straws are another large contributor to our plastic problem. As said earlier, or according to ecocycle.org, we use 500 million straws every day. Replacing single-use straws that are handed out at restaurants with metal, reusable ones can greatly reduce this number. Whether it is the restaurant that provides the straw, or if you keep the straw in the purse or bag, the maintenance is easy, and you just have to scrub the inside of this metal straw with a brush. Another large contributor to our plastic problem is single-use water bottles. We use them a lot, and we throw them away more often than not. A reusable water bottle is just as easy to store as a reusable straw. Just keep it in the bag and scrub it out when you're done using it. They are cheap, can include an filtration system built in, and can also be stylish. And so, while I present a lot of good arguments for recycling and being more eco-friendly, there are a lot of people saying, why should we do this? What if it's too late? It is too late, or we're not the largest contributors of plastic to the oceans. Why should we have to do anything? And my counter-argument to that is, even if it is already too late, we should still try to minimize the damage that we've already done, and try to prevent as much further damage as we can. On top of that, there's no reason we should make the situation worse. We shouldn't continue our path of destroying the earth at the rate that we're going. My second argument, or the second counter-argument, is we aren't the worst of them. Why should we have to do this? And my favorite rebuttal for this is in an analogy, in which, bobcats aren't the most dangerous thing to a human being, but I still wouldn't want to be put in a cage alone with them. Just because we aren't the worst polluters doesn't mean we shouldn't make ourselves better recyclers. It's our planet, and it's our only one. We need to take care of it, and we need to try whatever we can to fix the problem. As I stated throughout the entirety of my speech, plastic pollution is a very large and very real problem that faces everyone. As our use of plastic increases, so too must our rate of recycling. I propose that we either incentivize recycling and make it worthwhile to people to recycle, or make reusable items a more mainstream and accessible thing. Even if it is too late, and even if we are not the worst polluters, we still have an obligation to take care of our planet. And as I end my speech, I ask you to think back of all the times you threw away something that you could have recycled, and to now think forward, think ahead as you think how you can become a better recycler for both yourself and everybody else. Does anybody have any questions?
So those reusable straws, they generally aren't flexible.
They have some that come at an angle, that come at a 90-degree angle. And some of them actually, they're collapsible, so they'll kind of go like this. While it might impede the flow, it still allows the flow to go through.
I don't know where, Jacob, but there's, like, by an ocean, 2 young men decided to clean up.
The ocean, yeah, the beach. It's called hashtag trash tag. It's actually a really cool movement.
And they picked up so much debris, especially plastic.
Yep.
But I don't know where do they put it after they collected it.
That's another huge problem. Is the hashtag trash tag is a very popular trending thing right now, but it's one of those things where you're just picking the trash up and you're moving it back to a place where, you know, it might end up back in the ocean.
I was greatly impressed with that organization because they showed you how they started with the beach loaded, and they cleaned that up, and then they went somewhere else, I don't know where, and they have hundreds and hundreds of people cleaning up the beaches and the ocean.
Yep, it's
It's really wonderful.
we as a society are definitely moving forward with it, but we still need to do more.
How are we doing with the paper straw?
I've seen a lot of restaurants switch over to them. I went to Hawaii and I noticed a bunch of them actually use.
It's illegal in Hawaii.
And apparently it's illegal to use plastic straws in Hawaii. So,
You had plastic straws?
It's illegal.
so I guess they're going really well.
Have they found any evidence of the microplastics ending up in a human, like digestive tracts?
Many times. There are a bunch of studies. I couldn't link to one off the top of my head, but it ends up in a bunch of studies where they find plastics in basically human stool. And the only explanation they have is that it travels its way up through the food system, because these aren't people, like these aren't children eating toys. These are 40-year-old, grown adults that shouldn't have plastic in their bodies.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I just wanted to pass around a few more pictures. This is the Pacific Trash Island. It's what's circulating around the Pacific Ocean right now. And I want to say it's about 2 times the size of Texas. And as my grandmother said earlier about how some of the beaches can be incredibly polluted, this is a picture of one of those polluted beaches.
They showed he's diving into the ocean onto the bottom, or it's close to the bottom, and
where's
picking
this?
up.
That's the
Plastic.
beach.
That's crazy.
Yeah, not all plastic floats, and some of it sinks and travels with the current. And the reason it ends up in the Pacific is there's a circular current that keeps bringing it together like a cyclone.
Is this, tell me what this is.
That's the Pacific Trash Island. It's 2 times the size of Texas, and it's floating around in the Pacific Ocean.
Oh,
Any other questions?
Nope.
Alrighty, thank you
Thank
for
you.
attending my TED Talk.